Hey guys, this is Joe with ProFlight Trainer, and as you can see, we are doing something a little bit different in this video. You're not staring at my computer screen, you're staring at a box. And I got this box in the mail today, and hopefully it contains the next generation of ProFlight Trainer Puma, the Puma X, or the X2 in this case. I've already cut it open just to check and see if there's any invoices or anything like that, because I'm not trying to put my home address out on YouTube or nothing like that. But other than checking for that, you guys and I are going to see what's in here for the first time together. So since I already got it cut open, let's just get to it. And I've been actually waiting for this all day. So let you guys see how this is packed. Very neat. Very neatly, and you can see here we got a set of instructions here. It's a QR code that, okay, some basic instructions, and it's talking about downloading the assembly package, which, since I knew this was coming, I already did. The instructions are on the web page, the ProFlightTrainer.com. So if you go to ProFlightTrainer.com, you can download the instructions and the manual for this, which I already did. And you can see I got it downloaded on my tablet here. So, as usual, the packaging is awesome. This is my third ProFlight Trainer unit. I had a Black Lynx, and I had the Puma, and now we have the Puma X. Let's crack this open. Let's get this up and out of here. Okay, all right, so let's see. Make sure you guys can see in here. So everything is really neatly packed. So giant bubble wrap in here, and nice sturdy for shipment. Everything is zip tied and very, very secure. And now this is pretty similar to the way the Black Lynx and the Puma showed up. So if you never ordered from ProFlight Trainer before, the shipping is really nice because it's secured, like nothing rattles around in this box to get shaken around or broken. And pretty much everything's bubble wrapped. So let's get this thing open. See, looks like we got a zip tie here. It's holding some things in place. Yep, this looks like the collective. So let's get the collective out here. So already I'm noticing, compared to the 4th gen Puma, this collective is much bigger. Ooh. Okay, this collective is much bigger. Not much bigger, but it's significantly bigger. And it looks like the collective arm is longer, which is pretty cool. Which is actually really cool, actually, because I wanted that's one of the things that's been on my wish list for a ProFlight Trainer for a long time, is a longer collective arm. The control head, you can see here. So we retain the 2 buttons that the classic ProFlight Trainers always had, at least of the Black Lynx and the Puma. We have 2 switches here, and now the zone switch has been moved to down here, and now we have the addition of 2 hat switches on the collective, which is actually pretty awesome. And I think these both have a Z-axis button function as well, so that's cool. And like I said earlier, this is the Puma X2. So I got the one with the dual throttles, and you can see each individual throttle here, and I mean they can work as one, or you can rotate them individually. Now this is pretty solid. So another big difference between the 4th gen Puma and the Puma X, this is metal. You guys hear that? So it's got this textured metal grip for the throttle, which is really nice, and this is nice and solid, actually. There's no excess radial or axial play in it, no rattling. This is a solid piece. that is awesome. So yeah, Collective is definitely an improvement over the regular Puma version, the Gen 4 Puma. And another difference you see here is the angled control head, which is much more ergonomic, so you can get to these switches. So this is more of a 500 MD500 style Collective head. I mean placement anyway of the switches, versus like a Jet Ranger where the Collective control head is flat, or even like a Huey. It's more angled up, so your thumb has easier access. It's a bit more ergonomic, but really liking these dual throttles. This is nice. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'll set the Collective to the side. All right, looking like next out is, looks like the Cyclic. Yep, that is the Cyclic. Let's get this unwrapped. All right, so with the Cyclic, we have the classic. So this is the Puma X retains the classic B8 style flight grip. This being just a classic flight grip that you see on all sorts of aircraft. Now what we do, and we have the gooseneck Cyclic stock here, Cyclic column, but this is new. So this is a new piece right here. The Gen 4 Pumas didn't have this. So it looks like we upgraded our Cyclic attachment a little bit, which is pretty cool. Buttons, hat switch works all really well. I like that. And all aluminum. So the attachment here is plastic. The B8 grip is plastic, but all the load bearing parts, that's solid metal right here. Same with the Collective arm. So what's going to pretty much take the brunt of all the ups and downs and mechanical workings, it's metal. So that's going to last a while. Let's see what else we got in here. All right, so I also got, in addition to getting the Puma, the X2, I also got the toe brakes. So the toe brakes are, addition, you don't have to get either one with the toe brakes. They're sold separately. So if you don't want toe brakes, you don't have to get them. But these are pretty solid. So the toe brakes themselves are plastic, but they hook up to your foot pedals, which are, you can hear that. That's, once again, you got metal parts here. So that's going to work out really well. So here's one. Here's the other one. We don't need to open both because they're both the same. Actually, I'm going to open it anyway, just because I want to see it. Yep. So the toe brake, so if you order one without the toe brakes, you'll just get this portion right here that'll connect to the rest of the unit, which I'll show you, which I'll pull out here in just a second, because that's next as we unpack here. All right, and we got some, this looks like the Collective mounting bars. Yep. And again, everything is really nicely wrapped and prepared for shipment. You got the, everything's bubble wraps, and there's no metal on metal contact. So with all these metal parts, I think that's a really important thing to note here when they ship it. There is no metal contact. Everything is protected, so nothing gets scratched. And these are painted like really nice. I think these are powder coated. Yeah, I like this. So these are some of the attachments. This is the attachment for the Collective. This looks like it goes to the base, and we'll look at that in the next video when we put this thing together. But right now, we're just taking it out of the box to see what we got. All right. Looks like we got some more things. So we got a hardware bag here, and in the manual, it gives you a list of all the hardware that it comes with, and this comes with the bevel washers for friction. And it also comes with some cable ties to keep your cables all nice and neat. And looks like we got an extra sensor in there, an extra. I don't think it's a potentiometer. I think that might be a Hall effect sensor, so that's good. So give you a spare there and some extra spacers, some extra hardware, an extra bearing looks like. So that's cool. We're gonna set this to the side. And looks like we got another zip tie. We got a clip to get this thing out of here. Parts. Again, I had my diagonal cutters ready because every time I get something from them, they zip tie everything so nothing moves. So I was ready for them this time. All right. So this looks like so we got another bag of hardware here. Oh, I'm making all the metal-to-metal contact. All right. So another bag of. Oh. All right. So these are going to be. If you read the instructions, these are going to be important later. All right. So within here we got some more hardware here. Looks like some of our some more mounting screws. And we've got the tools. So the ProFlight Trainer comes with all the tools you need to put it together. And it looks like we've got some silicone lubrication cream in there. Yeah, this is awesome. And the cable, and your USB cable is in here. So cool. I'm gonna set this aside. And picking this up, so hope you guys can see this well enough. So this is the base. This is where the pedals are. So again, the toe brakes will mount onto here. Now, if you're used to, or if you've seen the Gen 4 Puma, one thing I'm already noticing is this is much heavier. This is much sturdier, and the metal that is made out of is much thicker. This is a much more robust build than the Gen 4 ProFlight Trainer Puma, like much more. And so when we get this thing put together, I'll compare it. I'll show you the. We'll do a side-by-side comparison of the Gen 4 versus the Gen 5 ProFlight Trainer Puma. But this is some sturdy metal. All right, and we got some more for the collective mounting. I think this is for the retention bar. And we'll go over that in another video. All right, so also what we have here is the Cyclic. Our Cyclic base goes, this is where our Cyclic will connect to. And already I'm feeling this is much smoother than the Gen 4. The pedals, again, this is a lot thicker gauge than thicker metal than the original Puma, and far ahead of the Black Lynx. And Black Lynx was my first unit, and this is really robust. Like, I'm not sure why they called it a Puma. They probably should have called this a Panther or a Jaguar, like ProFlight Trainer Jaguar. This is robust. I'm really impressed with this. Let's have a look at the bottom of it. So here, you'll see that's where you're going to adjust the friction for your pedals. And for the Cyclic friction, you'll adjust here for pitch and back here for roll. And there's a notch here cut out. Make sure there's a notch here cut out for stowing the Cyclic. So the Cyclic will fold down, and it looks like it folds down a lot further than it did on the Gen 4, so you can fold it all the way over for storage. And that's cool. That's actually really useful. All right, this is looking good. So we'll set this aside. And let's see what's left. Looks like the last bit is the base. So this is the other half of the base. You see we got a serial number here, and oh, nice. Like, that's a nice touch. And here, yep, you can see the circuit board is in there, so we'll make all of our connection here. Plug all of our flight controls in there. And this is, again, this has been completely re-engineered from the Gen 4 ProFlight Trainer Puma. So as much as I thought they looked alike when I saw them online, when I'm unpacking it, the unit's been completely re-engineered. I mean, it's the same basic concept, but this is a much more robust, it's a heavier, more sturdy unit. So I can't wait to get this thing put together. And we will do that in the next video. Okay, I know I said I would do this in the next video, but after unpacking this and really getting to see just how much more engineering went into the Gen 5, the Puma X. I just had to show you guys the differences in this one. I think it was important to show the differences in this one, in this video here, because so much more engineering took place. Now, don't get me wrong. The Gen 4 Puma, the Pro Flight Trainer Puma, is a fantastic piece of equipment, and I was super happy with mine. I used it as often as I could, and to be clear, I'm not replacing it because there was anything wrong with it. If the Gen 5 never existed, I would be perfectly happy with my Gen 4 Puma. However, the Gen 5 does exist, and I have one now, and I am super excited about it. So let's start talking about the differences between the Gen 4 and the Gen 5. So the Puma and the Puma X. And we're going to start with the first thing we unboxed, the Collective. Okay, so here I have the original, I say the original, the Gen 4 Puma Collective. So already an upgrade from the Black Lynx, which is what I started with. And just to give you guys kind of an idea of what kind of differences we're talking about, if you remember the Black Lynx, the Puma X is almost as big of an upgrade from the Black Lynx, from the Gen 4 Puma as the Gen 4 Puma was from the Black Lynx. That's how much more engineering went into this, okay? So while the two units have a similar outward appearance, I'm about to show you guys just how much more, just how many improvements they made with the X. All right, so here's the, like I said earlier, here's the Puma Pro Flight Trainer Puma Collective. So we got the regular box head, flat Jet Ranger style. That's flush with your thumb, okay? And we got your zone switch here on the Collective head. We got the 2 buttons and the 1 3-position toggle switch. Cool. Throttle, twist grip, which is twist grip is a foam, which is actually pretty comfortable. Again, worked great. I love this unit. Now, comparing this to the new Gen 5, you can see the throttle twist grips are much more robust. They're, again, that metal, that textured metal. The control head is larger with the switches, and we can see the difference, that the arm of the Collective. So this is going to give you, if you're looking at some aircraft like 500 Jet Ranger, Huey, this is going to give you a longer, a more accurate control movement because of the longer arm here, okay? And even then, it's still short enough to where it's close enough to like the Eurocopters that have those shorter floor-mounted Collectives. So just looking at the differences between the Gen 4 and the Gen 5 really gives you an idea that we're dealing with a brand new animal here. So the Puma X, or as I'm probably going to call it, like the Jaguar, I still think they should have gone with a bigger cat, because this is a much more robust construction here, okay? So those are the basic differences with the Collective, which is absolutely fantastic. I did mention the zone switch, didn't I? Yeah, zone switch, and the addition of the 2 hat switches. I talked about that earlier, but you can see the Collective head on the Gen 5 is much busier than it was on the Gen 4 Puma. All right, now moving on to the Cyclic. The Cyclic is pretty much the same. We talked about the new Cyclic joint here. Now, what this tells me is this Cyclic, this flight grip here, make sure I have it in frame, is a little easier to remove versus this one, which the Cyclic column goes into the Cyclic grip. Here we have it external, and this is not uncommon on actual helicopters. So this to me seems like, I don't know, maybe they may come out with a modular Cyclic grip, something like, so you can replace it with another one. I don't know. Although I did just put that idea out there. So maybe that's coming. I don't know. You might be able to swap out your Cyclic grips. But I love the B8, so I'm happy with this one. Also, one thing I noticed is that the Cyclic is longer. So you can see that it sits a little higher. And I think I know why. I'm pretty sure we may have some more options with as far as cyclic height goes when we look at the rest of the unit. So we get a taller cyclic, which probably gives us more options for placement vertically, which we'll talk about why that's important and probably in the next video. But the cyclic grip is the same. The gooseneck is roughly the same. We just have a taller cyclic to work with here, okay? Now, looking over here, I'm going to bring over the Gen 4 base. So again, this is a solid unit, okay? Gen 4 Pro Flight Trainer Puma, solid. Okay, that rattling in here is I loosen these nuts because I'm going to take this off here in a second. But the basic concept of the pedals is the same, although they changed some things, and it looks like they simplified it on the new one. And I can't really hold both of these up at the same time, but you can see the external potentiometer here. This channel is pretty much the same, and we're going to talk about this here. Well, actually, we'll just do it now. So you can see here, you have make sure I keep that in frame here. You have these holes drilled so you can adjust the cyclic position, which not really cyclic position. What you're really adjusting is the pedals and how far away they sit. And this was a huge thing for me when I got the Puma, because on the Black Lynx, the pedals sat too close for my comfort. So I was able to extend the pedals all the way out, and that made it a lot easier. So, but to do that, I had to disassemble, to take out 4 screws and move the entire cyclic column here. And again, looking at the cyclic column again, this is solid. This is solid, but we're going to see how they improved it on the Gen 5. Okay. Again, solid metal, but it's, again, solid, good, but we're going to see just how much more robust it is in the Gen 5. So, and actually while I'm here, looking at, because there's another thing I wanted to highlight, the circuit board, or the control board here. So to get to the control board on the Gen 4, excuse me, you had to take those screws off, and you pop this open, and you have access to the control board, which is cool. That's not that hard. It's not that hard. And you plug in all of your controls there, and this is the main USB cable that goes to your computer, and you are all set. Now let's look at the Gen 5. So again, already we're looking at a pretty sturdy unit, and looking at the thickness of the metal that they used, this is a lot thicker. You can see the cyclic column has been redesigned completely. Sorry, you can see the cyclic column has been redesigned completely compared to the Gen 4, and we've got protected. I'm not sure if they're potentiometers. Not sure if they're potentiometers or Hall sensors, but they're no longer external and exposed, and you can see the pedal. Same concept, same basic concept, and this is pretty much based on, looks like it's pretty much based loosely on the Jet Ranger series, or Orange 58 Alpha through Charlie model pedals, right? But you can see we've got the redesigned pedals. We don't have the actual where the foot rests on installed, just so you guys can see how this is built. And again, thicker metal, and this is just so much more streamlined. And to adjust these pedals, you can see here that it slides. So now you just have to loosen these 4 instead of taking off the entire cyclic column, and we can slide that in and out to adjust it. And there's room allotted for that. So that is a major improvement that I like. Again, just the overall build quality. I mean, the build quality of the Gen 4 Puma was already great. This is outstanding. Okay, and looking at the circuit board, so again, this and the back of this is, again, that's solid metal here. And to get to the circuit board on this, take away that faceplate and you get access to your circuit board, and you have the diagram for plugging in all your for plugging in all your controls right here on the back. So that should, and you don't have to lose it. And so if you lose your instructions, or you have to take it apart to clean it or whatever, you got your instructions right here and what goes where. So this is fantastic. So I wanted to make sure I showed you guys the key differences and improvements in engineering that went into the Gen 5. So it's more than just a couple of extra switches on the collective. It's more than just a slight redesign. This was re-engineered, and it was re-engineered well. I'm actually really excited to get this thing together and to start testing it, because this is a good looking unit.